I'm Isaac Ho, Tacoma personal trainer and therapist, and today we're going to talk about muscle testing, weakness, strength, and knee pain. So, you may have heard of muscle testing. You can use it to identify different muscles and if they're actually stabilizing and working with the joint. So today we're going to go over a couple muscles, and this is my good friend and model Dow. And when you do muscle testing, it is important to realize you're not trying to force a muscle to be strong or weak. It's all just a signal. And so to demonstrate this correctly, we're going to bring him up for this quad test. And so this is called the rec fem. It's the muscle that comes through the quad. He has a nice developed one, attaches down to the knee. And so the quad is a knee extensor, which means if it was strong, he could lengthen it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start him here, and I'm going to teach him how to feel this test properly. So I'm going to have you hold your leg there. It's a good comfortable position. I'm going to press straight down towards the table, and he's going to just meet my tension. Now, I can feel his muscles slide together. They're tight. My muscles slide together. We're tight. That's a good hold. Okay. Now, what I'm not going to do is bring him to a position that's really challenging and then slam it down, because you can see even then he just kicked in. Probably didn't feel too good. So we want him to get into the position that's as accurate as he can get into. Second, I'm going to test these muscles in a nice, controlled, stabilized way, and I should not need to force these. The signal that I'm getting is this muscle either fires, does what it's supposed to, or it doesn't. So let's do this first test for the middle of the quad. Hold your leg up there. When you're ready, and hold. So that is a nice, strong quad here. So our first step is, are things firing? Now, if I turn this way, now the outside of the muscle, the lateralis, and if this doesn't have good function, you may get some discomfort through the outside of your knee. Now I'm going to be pushing this way, so he's going to hold nice and strong, ready and hold, and that's fine. Then we're going to rotate. Now, actually, kind of little known thing, if you rotate your leg in for the testing position, great. You actually get a better test that way if he does it versus I do it, because when I take him into a position, I could take him into any position that I want, versus his brain says, this is the position that my vastus medialis muscles like to work. So same thing, but I'm going to be pushing this way down, ready and hold. That's a nice strong test. So now we just identified 3 different quad muscles that all seem to be strong. And so at this point, we might say, oh, okay, well, these are strong. I guess there's nothing else here to do. Now, we're not going to check muscles on the back or muscles behind the calf. For this demonstration and for helping you understand, there are different ways you can test these muscles. So next thing I want to do is I want to check to see, can these muscles, I know they turn on, can they turn off? So having muscles that don't turn off can be problematic for your knee, just like having muscles that don't turn on. So the next step is, can these muscles turn off? So how would I test that? Well, if you take these, what's called the, what allows you to contract is these spindle cells, scientific term. If you shorten them together, like when you get a massage in the right fiber direction, they should turn off. And if they don't, it means that even with the nice massage, even with a nice signal, the body cannot relax that muscle. So it has to stay on like Donkey Kong, can create more stress inside the joint and the muscle. So we're going to test that now. So same thing, same test. I'm going to bring this up here. He's going to hold that. Now the difference is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give that a nice slide together. Then he's going to hold, ready and hold. And that does not inhibit, okay? So we know that this nice big muscle, which is really common when you start doing exercises, cannot turn off. Now the issue can be is that if these don't turn off, you cannot get good movement through the joints and the way the body's meant supposed to rotate. So if you can't rotate, this could be problematic. Now let's check the next one, which we did, which was the lateralis. He's going to hold there. I'm going to inhibit. Same thing, ready and hold. And that one does inhibit. Okay, so lateralis is got normal function. Now I'm going to have him turn in again. So once again, I don't want to crank him into that. VMO right here, I'm going to inhibit, and same thing, ready and hold. And that one inhibits as well. Really nice. So we know now that we have something going on here where this doesn't turn off. So now we have to use a little bit of detective work. So in the article that I have linked below, I talk about knee pain and different issues, and one of them I talk about is different kind of spinal receptors. And you have different signaling, and one of the kind of signalings you have is called nociception. Okay, nociception just means your perception of pain. So whenever something is hurting, we usually put pressure on it. Like, oh, I banged my elbow, put pressure on it. So I'm going to put a little pressure on and see if we can get a change of signal. Now, full disclosure, I looked for this earlier before we started the video because I didn't want it to be boring for you. So I already know where the signal is for him that gets normal function. So I'm going to bring this up once again, I'm going to test it. I know that it's strong in the clear. Great. And I'm going to put pressure. So very simple. And you won't be able to see this, but I'm just going to put pressure down in his low back area. And then I'm going to give him this inhibition and ready and hold. And now he gets normal function. So what that tells me is doesn't tell me what, there is some kind of sensation of pain that he has through his low back that makes it so he does not turn this off. So if we think about if you had an issue with your back, you would need to hold yourself a certain way. You might support yourself not only with the quad muscle, but any muscle that runs into the low back. A lot of times people say psoas. I don't know that that's what this is. I would test the psoas muscle specifically, but I know that there is some kind of receptor back here responsible for pain that's causing the body's need to stabilize through here. And this is how you can use muscle testing to find out what's going on with your knee, your back, or another part of the chain. So if I did something, let's say through this shoulder, and all of a sudden this became normal, then I could concur that there is a relationship between the way that the shoulder or the ribs move and the way that this knee has to move. It's just giving me clues, and I'm looking for signals. So in conclusion, we have muscle testing, which for muscle testing, we are looking to see if these fibers can slide together and we get normal function. In order for that to really be a good test, we want him to position himself into the comfortable position. He's going to hold that. I'm going to press down, and we're going to test. Okay. Second thing is, even though it's strong, that just tells me I've got firing, but I need to then check and see, okay, do those spindle cells react to the brain in a way where they can turn off? If not, walking, running, doing activities without tension is not going to be possible. The third thing is, once I identify either something that is weak or something that is strong that cannot turn off, I need to find out why it has that relationship with the body, what the body is trying to tell me, and I need to address that to get the function back to the knee. I'm Isaac Coates, Tacoma personal trainer. I hope that helps. If you're wondering for yourself what kind of testing you could be, you can send me a message, and one of the things that we can do is find out if there's someone who can test muscles for you and find what kind of exercises, solutions, or treatments would help your knee feel better.